Good evening. Thank you for keeping it Citizen TV. I am Ann Kiguta. We're standing by for Citizen Live at 9 at the top of the hour. But right now, we are also live at State House, where an address is expected to be made by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto. I believe in a short while we can show you that picture where our crew is already on location. Francis Gashuru is there waiting to hear what the President will have to say. We do know it will touch on the security issue and particularly the issue of security at the coast in Lamu. We understand there is a meeting underway between the President, his deputy, and several coast members of Parliament and other leaders. As you can see, that stage now set for an address by the President anytime now. He is, of course, expected to illuminate what the government believes is behind the recent spate of violence we have seen at the coast. Now some activity at the door letting us know that, in fact, perhaps this address should take place very shortly. You will, of course, remember with me that there has been a bit of double speak from the Jubilee government as to what exactly has been the cause of the violence at the coast. Initially, right after the Mpeketoni attacks, we heard the President say that there was, in fact, evidence linking politicians, in particular opposition members of Parliament, to the violence. Later, weeks ago, we saw the Internal Security Minister coming out to say that, in fact, they did believe Al-Shabaab may have had a hand in the attacks and that, in fact, they were pursuing some of the attackers into the dense forests at the coast, and they even believed that some of the attackers had fled into Somalia. So clearly a lot of confusion as to what exactly the government position is in regards to the violence at the coast. And now you can see them, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto, set to make their way to the podium very shortly to give this live address to the nation. And we will be crossing there live very shortly to listen to what they have to say. I believe that's the Lands Cabinet Minister Charity Ngilu, who you can also see in that picture. We understand land also is a major issue that the government is attributing to the violence at the coast. Well, they are standing around seeming jovial. We do hope to hear from them very soon. Of course, this is a news conference we've been anticipating for a while. I believe I did also see that's the presidential spokesman, Manoa Isipisu. We're seeing Issa Timami and other leaders from the coast. We also saw the permanent secretary for the Ministry of the Interior there. So very shortly, the President and the Deputy President should, of course, be making their way there to address that news conference, quite likely perhaps to be flanked by those coast politicians as they address the nation on what they believe has been the cause behind the violence. Certainly there have been concerns among Kenyans. We haven't really heard the government point any fingers on particular politicians. In fact, Issa Timami, the Lamu governor, is the only one who had been held by police briefly over the same matter, while charges against him were to be preferred in court. And now, as you can see them there, waiting to come and address the nation and possibly even tell us just who do they believe is behind that violence. Let's go live now to State House and listen in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The President will make a statement. We apologize. This has come a couple of hours late, but there were necessary meetings the President needed to attend. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Manoa. Again, let me just join Manoa in apologizing for starting late, but as you know, it's been a long day. We had leaders from the region discussing issues of mutual concern, but we had also set aside today for a meeting with Lamu County leaders, where I was advising them or letting them know of certain decisions that my government is intent on taking with regard to Lamu County. And in the spirit of openness and transparency, I thought it necessary for me to share with my fellow leaders from Lamu County. Let me say, fellow Kenyans, that my government is committed to securing the dignity, well-being, and property of every Kenyan without fear or favor. For this to be achieved, we are clear that land plays a crucial role in ensuring equity and driving the economic growth that will provide the improved livelihoods that our citizens and communities yearn for. We look forward to Kenya as a democracy founded on the security of property ownership and the opportunities that come with it. This vision has guided my government's transformative program in the land sector. Our actions are already bearing fruit in terms of service delivery, and we're only getting started in what will be far-reaching and impactful action. Fellow Kenyans, so far, we have earnestly pursued a comprehensive program on the issuance of title deeds to which significant resources have been allocated, ensuring that citizens and families have security of tenure with increased food production, create more investment opportunities, and improve housing and health outcomes. It will also minimize disputes over ownership between individuals, families, and communities. The overall result will be empowered Kenyans whose efforts are joined to increase opportunities for all. Last year, we began this program in the coast region. While in Lamu, I directed the Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Housing and Urban Development to carry out a comprehensive audit of the land allocations in Lamu County. This audit is now complete and has revealed a number of shocking details. We have established that between 2011 and 2012, almost 500,000 acres of public land, which is approximately 70% of the land within Lamu County, available for settlement and other productive purposes, was alienated to 22 private entities under dubious and suspiciously corrupt circumstances. While a few used illegal means for their own gain, the many thousands of families living in this county occupy only 30% of the land available for settlement and production. We have established that this alienation was not done in accordance with the principles underpinning land management in the Constitution of Kenya, nor the laws regulating public land alienation at the time. This criminal conspiracy has disposed individuals and families living in this region of their land and opportunities for improving their well-being. It has also helped fuel the current insecurity being experienced in the region and frustrated our efforts in building cohesion in the county. For far too long, this pattern of mismanagement of our public resources has resulted in dispossession, strife, and poverty of Kenyans. This level of impunity revealed by the audit is unprecedented, untenable, and indeed unacceptable. In light of the foregoing, I have instructed the Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Housing and Urban Development and the National Land Commission to revoke, repossess these land parcels with immediate effect. I further call upon the Inspector General of Police, the Criminal Investigation Department, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to commence investigations with a view to bringing to account all persons who were involved in this criminal enterprise without exception. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, earlier today, I hosted the presidents of Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni, Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn of Ethiopia, and President Salva Kiir Mayardit of South Sudan to explore ways of financing our massive 24 billion LAPSET project. I am determined that we must ensure that the kind of criminality that we have seen in land transactions in Lamu County will neither derail nor delay one of the most important transformative regional trade and investment projects of our time. Therein ends my statement, and I thank you. And we will continue this meeting with our colleagues from Lamu County tomorrow as we continue to discuss more issues affecting that county in a view of ensuring that we bring an end both to insecurity and we begin the real work that Kenyans gave us of ensuring prosperity, equity, fairness, and ultimately the growth of Lamu County and Kenya as a whole. I thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Therein concludes the address by President Uhuru Kenyatta, flanked there by the Deputy President, the Internal Security Minister, the Lands Minister as well, and leaders from Lamu County, where the President has disclosed that a comprehensive audit that was done by the Lands Ministry of Coast Province revealed that between 2011 and 2012, 70% of public land in Lamu was sold off to private developers under what he has dubbed criminal circumstances, dubious circumstances. 22 private companies were the beneficiaries of that particular move between 2011 and 2012, which would make it when former Lands Minister James Orengo was in office. He said that the residents of Lamu County were therefore left with only 30% of the land for their living, and that has given rise to the insecurity that has recently been witnessed in that particular area. His immediate order was that the parcels of land be revoked immediately. He's also called for a probe that will be carried out by the Inspector General of Police and also the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission into that matter in a view of resolving it immediately. We'll stay on top of that story for you. You do not want to miss comprehensive analysis on this and many other stories on Opinion Court at the top of the hour, and we'll see you then. Here are some of the top stories lined up for you on Citizen Live at 9.